Last time we were chatting about me eating blue cookies. Well, I can tell you that I did see a color. It wasn't blue, but
Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop.
And welcome back to another episode of Don't Be a Doorstop. Yes, that knocking about is Tom trying to sort out his microphone. So last time we were chatting about me eating blue cookies. Well, I can tell you that I did see a color. It wasn't blue, but so I'm not a part of the 30%, and that'll be our intro. So I actually finally got some results back as well, which is good. So once you've finalized your microphone position,
is that working?
Yeah, as long as you don't breathe into the mic, then it's fine, I think. Right? So heavy breathing for those of you on Spotify. Actually, you won't be on Spotify because I keep forgetting to upload it on Spotify as well. So those of you with YouTube and keeping with us on YouTube will be less irritated by the noise. But yeah, so I had my results from my Zoe stuff back. So just to remind you, I was doing Zoe, which is like a blood test, a gut test, and it measures your blood glucose levels and your kind of dietary intake and stuff. And I had good results, and I wasn't expecting bad results, so which is good. And it was just my diet was bad because I'm wearing a glucose monitor and I wanted to just see what affected it. That's my rationale for saying it. So after that, they give you a bunch of dietary recommendations of the things that do well for your blood sugar, which in a sense is like to do well. It's like you don't want to peak your blood sugar. You want to kind of keep it more stable. So that's kind of like the most important thing to do. So I've actually enjoyed it. I've taken off the patch now, so I don't wear the blood glucose thing. It was only for 14 days. And now I carry on logging food to try and get like a score, like a healthy score for my meals. So yeah, I'm finding it difficult to remember to log. But other than that, I think it's been like an insightful journey. So well worth trying it just to see. But it does make me feel that I'm too young to be doing it because all the people in the posters and all the people in the like imagery are a bit older. But then now it's kicked in to be like, okay, cool, young people are back on the table. So because it's all like young people telling me what to do dietary wise. So yeah, it's an interesting journey, that's for sure. What have you been up to while I've been measuring my glucose levels?
I have literally for the last 30 minutes gone. No, probably last hour actually. Gone. We've got a podcast. I have no energy. How can I record it in a more interesting way other than sat at a desk? So I basically got rid of all my desk setup, chucked it all in the garage, and then got this nice IKEA chair that's more supportive and chilled. So I thought I'd try something different. Hence,
so as
you're
wobbling backwards and forwards, we can hear it through the mic as well.
Can you hear this?
Thankfully not.
Sweet, but the mic keeps moving closer to my face.
You just need to clamp it a little bit more with the Allen key or something as well. So,
well, it's at the hinge bit. So if I rock, it rocks at the hinge bit that I can't technically clamp.
I think you can. There's an Allen key to clamp the hinge, I think.
Oh, at the bottom, is it?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, you'll have to play around to see.
Fair enough.
Or maybe not. Yeah.
Going off script.
Well, this is one way to keep it entertaining.
I was just watching the and also whilst doing that, I was watching the Mr. Beast has jumped onto this podcast, and it's basically two guys that are all about storytelling. I think you sent me it before in the past because I think he did a clip about 10 months ago. So I was watching that and finding it really interesting how basically he's got a TV series coming out on Amazon Prime apparently, which he's excited about because he's got a bigger budget and a bigger team than ever before, and he's not tailoring his video towards either his thumbnail or his title, because he basically says if he made a perfect video, it still is all based off the title and the thumbnail, the image that you see on YouTube, because he basically says normally when you go with a big organization, they're more willing to wait around, and if they've watched 10 seconds, they're more likely to stay on that channel because they've expected to be there for half an hour or an hour or whatever. So he's quite excited to sort of push those more storytelling limits and stuff. So
yeah, because he's always been like quick edits. And what's interesting is there was a company that I think it was like a media company that they were trying to create content and try to add in, do like similar kind of content to Mr. Beast, like virality, but with much more like storytelling. And I think Mr. Beast has kind of pivoted in that way, and there's more storytelling in his videos, and he probably has noticed that there's less drop off and more like the same engagement, if not more. And I think what was good, you know, when he did the Squid Games, I thought Netflix version of the Squid Games had a lot to live up to. And again, Netflix did what Netflix does best, which is essentially storytell. And I thought that the actual engagement from the Netflix one was probably like higher and more in depth because we have come to love these characters through the story rather than just like have visuals and have entertainment thrown at your eyeballs. So I thought it was like a very good contrasting. Both are exceptional, but interestingly, Netflix kind of like nailed it on storytelling, and Mr. Beast nailed it on just like pure entertainment value being like injected into your eyeballs. So
it is interesting how he says, because a lot of people try and mimic his videos, the more he sees of those videos, he basically realizes all of the small bad habits that he does. Because even he's realized it's a little bit too much dopamine, put too much in the first 10 seconds. So it'll probably be the same amount of information as in 10 seconds a couple of years back or months back, as now there's in 20, 30 seconds. And there's sort of different clips that are slowing down a little bit more. That he's sort of tapping into more the storytelling over like a TikTok engagement, just sheer entertainment value is more, I wouldn't say long form because he's just added a little bit more, but his videos are, instead of being like 10 minutes, he slowly ranked them up to be more 20 minutes and longer, which I thought was really interesting. And even small things that he was saying, how he clocked a bad habit that he was doing, that he was always yelling at the camera at the start. And he's like, I was trying to figure out why I did it. And actually it reminded me of back in the day, we didn't have like mics, lapel mics. So I was yelling basically for the camera to pick up my voice. But now that we've got those mics, I'm just yelling down a mic that is not needed anymore. So it's really fascinating that he's like, I'm triggering these sort of habits that he's created to build that platform. But now he's got the resources and stuff to, let's say, get closer up mics, that he doesn't necessarily need to do that, which is just so interesting in those small little elements.
You have to do enough content to spot the irregularities or the regularities of good things and bad things to then be able to weed them out, don't you? And also it's the like not being afraid to watch stuff back, because some people won't watch it back. I always do watch things back just in case there's something that you can learn from what you do. So I always like recording my talks to see if there was something that I did wrong. There was some, I think it was a TED talk, some recommendation for TED talks is like you hold this piece of paper between your hands. So then your hand gestures aren't even distracting. But I would say sometimes hand gestures is a part of the storytelling, and it kind of like is a part of the entertainment to use hand gestures. So everybody has their like little things. Like if you are doing something irritating that you want to get rid of, like trying to like fix your hands in one position, but if you're okay with gesticulating, as it were, like using your hands to articulate a point, you know, especially if you're doing like point 1, point 2, point 3, you know, doing something like symbolic as part of the story, you know, without pointing, you just got to do these like thumb things, don't you? Then it works. So
that's it's really interesting, that stuff.
I was listening to one podcast about he's started it anew where he's interviewing millionaires and people that have lots of money or people that want to have lots of money and interviewing them about how they spend their money. Now, that's not the important bit. The important bit is like, cool, so I've done this podcast. It costs a lot of money to make this happen. And I only really want to do it if you want to see it, kind of thing. I'm only going to produce these. I'm only going to publish them if you actually want them. Otherwise, I'll just do it privately. We'll just have these conversations privately. And I thought that was a part of his YouTube video, which then encourages you, like, if you want to see this stuff, comment to be like, we want to see more. Otherwise, we'll just privately have these conversations and it's fine. And I thought the whole like, you don't want to be missing out, especially on this like insight or like behind the scenes or something that you would never typically get to do. So for example, hearing how, if you're not a millionaire now, hearing how a millionaire spends their money is quite insightful, quite interesting. So like, it's the whole like behind closed doors of the private kind of like dynamic nature of that makes it enticing for you to comment, because I don't want him to carry on having those conversations behind closed doors, because this is really insightful. So if you want to keep us listening to us, then let us know, because otherwise we'll just have these conversations privately. But yeah, no one will comment, and we'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to carry on doing it because I like doing it.
But you know what's exciting about this video on YouTube?
What?
It's our 100th video.
What?
Because
No.
obviously, if you look at the videos, it technically clusters up the long form and short form.
Okay.
So this is technically the 100th video, even though it's not the 100th podcast. It's the 100th video that we'll be posting.
Oh, right. You know what we should have done?
We've not
We should
even
have
been
done it
pushing
in
shorts
person.
that much.
No.
Yeah, I did half think that, and then I thought, we're seeing each other this weekend, but it was meant to be restful, so I thought, and I don't
What we
really
could
want to
do
carry all my gear, so
is
maybe
a spontaneous one. If it happens, then it happens.
Potentially.
Yeah. Like a live vlog of
cut all
it.
this, or we click our fingers and then we're next to each other.
Yeah, and you just see us in a room together. It's one of those things we don't even cut the episodes. We just like run it raw, straight through with no edits. So we don't even use AI to edit any of the like the blank spots or any ums and ahs out of it. So maybe we'll do a little real time thing. So talking about real time, I have revised Herd. So Herd is an app that I've been working on. So predominantly my main one is Insider, which is our OnlyFans for musicians. And that is essentially the big primary app or product that I've been working on. But there's like a secondary one, which is about collating. We all do these personality tests, Myers-Briggs, love languages, all this stuff. But you never remember it for when you want to use that information for insight. So I've built an app where you can create these groups. You can put different people in, you get those people to answer quizzes, and then that quiz information then drives the insights. So you can ask it questions about like, if we're moving house, or if we're, how do I best encourage this person, or how do I best explain, somebody passes in the family or whatever. And I've actually revised it so it's even better. So the actual query is more insightful, and it shows you like a particular insight on like how you would approach said individual within your herd, any specific personality insight that's going to be helpful to how you deliver this information or communicate with them. And then thirdly, like a risk value of how risky, as in like what's the risk. So somebody might be higher risk, which essentially is like be more careful and be more mindful because this person might go down this particular route. Or it might be like, you know what, you don't need to worry so much with this person because this person is typically optimistic. So you can be like the negative impact is less likely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been really enjoying the fact that I've revised it and I've got it out there. So if you go to useherd.com, then you'll be able to
sure
download
there'll be an image at some
if I
point
hold
on
my
my
hand
shoulders
here,
at some point.
Yeah, if I can edit it in. So
if we can make the editor do that, see the
yeah. nudge. This guy. So.
But yeah,
And then,
we should probably have like a summary of each app of where they're at and all that jazz, like a weekly
like
summary
a state of the union, as they would say. But what apps have you been working on? What stuff have you been working on?
We've been working on Muselingo, so it's a app to learn Welsh. That's what we've been getting ourselves involved in. So that's with me, you, and our dad, our father. So he's a Welsh learner, and we just thought, he's had this idea for a while and he's slowly building it up behind the scenes. But we just thought, actually, why don't we just launch a bare minimum? Because there's nothing like a bit of adrenaline from a public execution via comments that gets you going, and it makes you feel like this. Press. Yeah. Get something out into the public so then people can engage with it, can comment, can, I guess, create an ecosystem of what's worth putting effort and energy in, and hopefully build a community around that of people either that, well, the idea of the long form is people that don't know any form of language, some basics, The people that know basics, hopefully a little bit better. And then the people that maybe used to know Welsh really well, maybe they went through school or whatever, and it's just building up their confidence. So it's basically, just hopefully making the Welsh language thrive in a society that, obviously you always hear the government and stuff talking about how they want to push things and make sure it's still relevant and easy. And it seems like the eagerness is there from different podcasts and things that we've listened to, but it's just making the accessibility and just distilling confidence for people that aren't around Welsh people that can practice more regularly. So then when they do have that opportunity to use it in a shop, cafe, church, or whatever, that they can. So that's what we've been working on.
You've explained that perfectly well. It's in the App Store, the iOS App Store. It will be coming to Android soon. So if you type in Muse, M-U-S-E, Lingo, all one word, then hopefully it will turn up for you. And extra points if you can guess whose voices are in the app. So there are 4 voices, I think, so far. There might be more in the future, but if you can guess who those 4 voices are. Spoken voices, not the nature sounds. That's giving away too much. Just want to show the ankles, show the wrists. So you'll have to go over to the App Store to find out what else is in the game for that one. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. I actually messaged a bunch of Welsh government-y type of organizations trying to see if there was some funding for something like this, because we're trying to get 1 million speakers by 2050, which I don't know how many speakers we've got so far, but it's probably not as many as we would like to have. So whether or not they can sponsor it. So, and are we going to come up with a mascot?
Yes, I think so. I've got some ideas, but I might keep that hush hush for now. But yeah, I'll throw some ideas.
I'll throw some ideas into the pot just to get us started. I was thinking potentially the stereotypical 2 to go for is either sheep, like a sheep kind of like mascot, or a dragon mascot. And I was thinking actually a sheep would work well because like Shaun the Sheep, the Wallace and Gromit animation. I think it's quite. I think that style would be quite cool to like embed in because Duolingo has a bird, and why not have a sheep? But maybe it's better to have a dragon because then you could start drawing that the dragon blows fire and burns the bird. Fight and talk, basically. So,
nothing like a bit of beef on the internet.
Yeah, because I could just see it. Just imagine this, right? You have this advert, which is basically a bird, literally the Muselingo bird, just like pecking some food, and then all of a sudden, like a Charizard-esque type dragon foot just goes, and then it says muselingo.com. Wouldn't that be great? Learn Welsh or something, or something like that.
Because Duolingo can't stop updating their Welsh services, so maybe it should be that bird that tries to fly but actually falls, but then the dragon comes in and swoops it and then take captives, and then eats it and then carries on. Sorry for the vegan listeners.
Yeah, that'd be funny. It's just some bird pecking, and then some dragon goes hunk.
Yeah.
Well, there's some ideas for you to.
No chicken was hurt in this animation.
Yeah. Is it a chicken or is it like a
bird thing? I don't know.
Or is it an owl? It looks kind of like an owl.
Well, I guess with the bird, we could use the Sunny Side of Philadelphia community of how they talk about the bird, as in that's D, isn't it? The girl. It's like bird or whatever.
Yeah.
So we could have a couple of memes, and that would work quite well because Rob McElhenney's learning Welsh, so that could work. Just have a very caricature of Rob, and he could be our mascot.
Yeah,
in a dragon outfit. How about that? That would be fun. That would be funny, and he'd probably retweet it as well if it's funny enough.
That would be perfect. You're in a pub in Wrexham, and basically a guy dressed as a blue kind of Duolingo bird comes in "Oi!" and then you have
gets beaten up.
Mac dressed as a red dragon turned to him, says "Shut up, bird," and then turns back to his app on how to learn Welsh, and then and it's Muselingo, and he's in a Welsh, he's in a Wrexham football top, but also a dragon. When they have those dragon hoods with a dragon hat. I wonder if he'd do that for free for us, or would we have to pay him in?
Well, so if the people watching this know him,
let's crowd fund Rob McElhenney coming in as a dragon into our Muselingo advert. So
I think we should just find his a Welsh doppelganger of him, and see if we can get him
somebody
to
that looks similar to him.
mimic like him. I think the internet explodes with stuff like that. I think our marketing geniuses is definitely going to pop out at this moment. All these years that have been stored up against other companies I've worked with, and I've had to bury it because it's been too creative.
And this is it. You to be like memorable is the main thing, right? To remember it. I think Duolingo had this weird thing where the butt of the bird turned out to be another bird, or something weird like that, or it had like a butt or something. So like you'll have to Google it. I'm not going to insert it here because I don't want to like X-rate the video. But there's some sort of like Duolingo has like the bird has some like butt face thing.
You'll have live search this now.
You'll have to search it. But also, I don't even remember what the name of the bird's called, because I think Muse would be, or Lingo would be a perfect name for the bird.
Well,
have you spotted it?
Brave is not giving me anything currently.
You probably need to turn off your safe search.
Oh yeah, there is a random.
What is it?
Don't let it break, and it's like a. I don't even know what it is.
Describe it for the listeners. Describe it.
There's two elements to it, and I don't know if it's like someone joking about did this widget disappear? So it's basically after 181 streak by the looks of it. It was clearly a widget on, I'm assuming, an iPhone, and it's basically the backside of the butt of the bird, so you get to see his butt cheeks, and then its eye looking back on itself slightly.
Oh right, so it doesn't have a face on its butt.
But then it's on 123. I'm not sure if this is a print screen potentially. I'm not entirely sure if someone's done it. It's like a bird within a bird. Very strange. Don't understand it. Maybe you have to go to OnlyFans to figure out what it actually looks like. But yeah, I don't quite get it.
So to put some background to this, they obviously have streaks. The more streaks you have, which is consecutive use of the app, the images change. And also, if you don't have, I think also if you're about to lose your streak, then it has like sad birds. So yeah, there must be some like X-rated streak birds, basically.
I did not know Duolingo has a store, and in that store,
you can buy the butt one.
They've got the Duo Butt Briefs, which is basically boxes that looks like the Duolingo's bird's butt. Wow.
How much are they selling that for? They selling that for like 20 quid.
Can I screenshot this or not? Or will this destroy the whole?
Let's leave it for now because it'll destroy it for us. I'll edit in post. I'll put it in post.
I will send this in the chat. This is live stuff, Dan. This is breaking news. You need to jump onto that.
So much for having like a 10-minute episode.
Well, I think this is... Well, you're riding the energy, so it's all good. So they have a Duo Butt pin. So it's like a pin as in you put in your clothes or whatever.
We need stop everything that you're doing. Cancel your weekend plans. We need to make butt briefs for our dragon, which would basically have a dragon tail. And we'd sell it for... These guys are selling it for $19.95. We could sell it, so essentially like 15 quid or something, right? I'm sure we'd be able to find something like that. Who's going to buy that, though?
I have no idea, but I'm assuming someone does. But they're not sold out, so maybe no one does, and maybe it's just all just for the
also
lols.
have the plushies, which is like the... it's quite a famous thing, isn't it? Like, what are they called? Like soft toys of some sorts.
Yeah.
Which I think that makes sense to have.
A bird and a girl.
Yeah. I don't know who these characters are because they have a bear character. I've never seen the bear character. Yeah. Stop everything. Let's start designing. Let's start designing butt briefs for Muselingo, which will have it'll have musical notes coming out your butt. Oh, that actually, yeah. I think if we did that, one person would buy them surely as like a, hey, you know,
Get
this
a
is the journey
Kickstarter
to
going.
yeah, this is a journey for a million,
See how much
million
money we
more
could raise.
speakers. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Well, we've now populated this video with a bunch of Duolingo words when really you should be downloading Muselingo. So that's
Muselingo.
the one to go for.
Yeah, and the more that you support Muselingo, the more we'll come up with butt briefs for you.
Yeah, if you support Muselingo, if you download the app, and also if you come and comment, get me those butt briefs, then we'll give you a free pair of butt briefs whenever they get made. If and more so when, right? When, Tom, as the marketing manager, you have to decide.
Yeah, we'll find out when that kicks off. We still need to push the app a little bit more before we go straight into clothing.
Ah, it's so funny. I didn't know that was even the thing. I think the quirkiness of these like side stuff is not really the main thing, is it? But obviously people are buying it. Well, you'll never know, right? You'll never know if they're buying the briefs because like you can't tell.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is because they're funny, I'm sure someone bought those briefs for someone as a joke for Christmas. It's a classic guy thing to do, that you buy it even though you know your mate's probably never going to use it, just for the lols.
It's like a stag do present, isn't it? You know, you buy like stuff for a stag do or something, you know that's going to be burned, or you're doing it for like a prank or something. You want like prank-based items for people to buy that they that are making you, the shop owner, money, essentially. So
yeah, I think
there you
should
go.
spend on that.
Yeah, that's going to be our Easter weekend, coming up with designing butt briefs for dragons and sheep.
Send us in your designs.
Yeah. And until next time, keep hammering those nails. Bye for now.
Bye.